Hey guys, this is Dr. Callahan for Algebra 2, Semester 2, Week 1, Thursday. How are you guys doing? So go ahead and pause the video and answer the following questions for your warm-up blog. You should have Week 1, Thursday, 3 questions completely filled out for 1, 2, and 3. So pause the video and do that. All right, so the first one asks you about certain different famous mathematicians. Here are some of the few. You have Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Leonardo, you have Thales, and then we go to Pythagoras, who created the Pythagorean theorems, Descartes, Archimedes, and Nash. Blaise Pascal for the triangle, Euclid, who actually invented all of geometry, and Lovelace. And here are your answers for question number 3. All right, so as we're approaching this today we're going to talk about synthetic division and moving on to skill number 2. So we're officially done with almost of skill number 1. This is where we are right now. Is Thursday. Today you're going to have some time to practice on your Math Excel, which will give you a little bit of time to do. All right, let's go ahead and get started with your guided notes, which is in the white packet, and let's take a look at question number 5. So for question number 5, you remember simply create a line and first, and then from there, you're gonna go ahead and take this part right here. And we're gonna put it inside. And then the divisor on the outside like that. So we're going to have 2x cubed plus 9x squared plus 10x plus 3 inside, and then 2x minus 1 on the outside. So you can ask yourself, so 2x times what gives me 2x cubed? Well, it's missing an x squared. And then naturally, you're going to take this and then distribute it in here. So then you will have 2x cubed minus x squared. Now remember, you have to go ahead and subtract this. So we're going to go ahead and subtract it, which means you change the sign to a negative, that becomes a positive. And if you take a look at this, that just cancels, and 9 plus 1x squared gives me a 10x squared. And I'm going to bring down that 10. So then from this 10 right here, you're going to try to do this all over again. You're going to ask yourself, okay, 2x times what gives me a 10x squared? Because my goal now is to cancel this one. I'm going to add a 5x, which gives me a 10x squared. Negative 1 times 5x is a negative 5x. And then once again, we're going to go ahead and subtract. So then when I subtract, remember, you're going to change the signs. So then naturally, the 10x squared cancels. 10x plus 5x is a 15x. And we're going to bring down that 3. We're almost there, you guys. So 2x times what is close to a 15x? Well, the closest one is 7. So 2x times 7 is a 14x. Negative 1 times 7 is a negative 7. And then we're going to go ahead and subtract. When I subtract, notice how you're going to subtract that negative 14. That becomes a positive. So this part cancels. 3 and 7 gives me a 10. And this, my friend, is your remainder. The answer on top right here is a quotient. That's part of your answer. And the 2x plus 1 is your divisor. So then you're like, well, what's my answer, Callahan? Your answer is going to be the quotient plus the remainder divided by the divisor. Okay, so if I were to write that down, x squared plus 5x plus 7 plus 10 divided by 2x minus 1. And this, you guys, is your answer to that. All right, so now let's take a look at the next one here. Okay, so the next example you have, we're going to go ahead and do this one similarly to what we did before. And once again, remember, you're going to have to go ahead and put the divisor on the outside. And we're going to go ahead and put this piece right here on the inside. So 3x cubed minus 2x squared plus 7x plus 9. My divisor is x squared minus 3x. All right, let's go ahead and put an x and a 3 on top. Remember, you're going to have to distribute, which gives you a 3x cubed minus 9x squared. And then when we go ahead and subtract this, that'll become a negative. This will become a positive. 3x cubed cancels each other. 2 plus 9 is going to give me a positive 7x squared. Bring down the 7, and we're going to put a plus 7 on top. Distribute it one more time. 7x squared minus 21x. And then, of course, remember, we're going to go ahead and subtract it, which means this is a negative, this is a positive. Cancel that. 7 plus 21 is a 28x. Move that 9 down. And I'm going to put a 28 on top. Or I'm sorry, hold on, I'm not put a 28. Oh, just kidding. Right there, yeah. Okay, so then at this point, notice that you have an x squared, you have a 28x. X squared cannot go into 28x. So this right here will be your remainder. That's your quotient. And that's your divisor. So then your answer is going to be the quotient plus the remainder divided by the divisor. So x squared minus 3x. And that is your answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this part here. Take a moment, pause the video, read the question, and highlight the important information. So you have a truck, and this truck is traveling at this many miles in this many hours. So the distance is going to be that part right here. Time is going to be represented by that. And it says it wants you to figure out what the rate is. Well, if you want the rate, you will have to divide it by t. So r equals d divided by t. So we're going to take d, which is the distance, divided by t, which is the time. So then go ahead and create that. We're going to take this piece and put it right in here. And I'm going to take this piece and put it right there. So 6x cubed plus x squared plus 20x minus 11. And I'm going to have 2x minus 1. So then looking at this, I'm going to ask myself, 2x times what is going to give me 6x cubed? Well, naturally, it's going to be a 3 and then an x squared because you already have an x, so you need 2 more x's. So when I distribute this, I will have a 6x cubed. Negative 1 times 3x squared is a negative 3x squared. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract it. When I subtract this, that becomes a negative, that becomes a positive, and you can cancel out the 6x cubed. 1 plus 3 is a 4x squared, and you bring down your 20x. So then from that part, I'm going to ask myself, 2x times what gives me a 4x squared? A 2x, which is a 4x squared minus 2x. Let's go ahead and subtract that, which makes that a negative. That becomes a positive. Cancel it. 20 plus 2 is a 22x. bring down that 11. And if you ask yourself, 2x times what gives me 22x? Well, it would have to be 11. Distribute it back to the divisor. You get a 22x minus 11. And of course, don't forget to complete your problem. Negative, positive, that part cancel. And your remainder is a 0. Okay. Your quotient is still the answer on top. And this is still your divisor. So what is going to be the rate? The rate is simply just going to be the answer right here, which is your quotient. You have a 0 for remainder, so you don't need to do the fraction with the remainder and divisor. And so your rate is just going to be 3x squared plus 2x plus 11. All right, next one, let's take a look over here. So pause the video and go ahead and highlight the important information. Okay, so you have the first part that is highlighted in green as the total number of visitors that went to the theme park. You have the part that's highlighted in yellow as the number of shows. And the question you're trying to find is the average number of visitors for each show. So to find that answer, you will just have to take the number of visitors divided by the number of shows. So essentially what you're going to be doing is simply take the green part, put that in there, and then the number of shows right there as a divisor. So I'm going to have 126x cubed plus 279x squared plus 90x plus 450 divided by 18x plus 45. All right, so you're going to ask yourself, and this might require you to grab your calculator, or you can go ahead and perhaps do this with just manual math without a calculator, but you got to ask yourself, 18 times what is very close to 126? Well, that would be 7, and you would need an x squared right there. So then you're going to distribute this. So we have 126x cubed. 45 times 7 is 315x squared. And we're going to go ahead and subtract, which makes us a negative, negative, cancel. 279 minus 315 is going to give you a negative 36x squared. Now bring down that 90x. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the process again. 18 times what is a negative 36? Well, that would be a negative 2x. So distribute it. Negative 36x squared minus 90x. We're going to go ahead and subtract this. So we're going to put a minus sign. That becomes a positive. That becomes a positive. And the 36x squared cancels. And you have 180x. I'm going to bring down that 450. And look, you guys are pretty close to getting done with this. So then you're going to ask yourself, 18 times what gives me 180? I'm going to put 10. Distribute it, you get 180x plus 450. And of course, when they subtract it, so when they change that sign to a negative, that becomes a negative. So 180 cancels, and look, you have 0 for your remainder. this right here on top is your quotient, and this right here is your divisor. So then what is the average number of visitors per show? That answer is 7x squared minus 2x plus 10. And that is your answer. Okay, so we've gone over 4 different examples. However, I want to go over synthetic division with you guys. So the second method is going to be on synthetic division. And so this is a little bit different. It's a new style, but I personally just like long division because there's actually a lot of restrictions with synthetic division. Like for example, if your divisor in this situation is going to be 2x minus 1, what you do is you go ahead and draw kind of like the division sign backwards. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the numbers here, just the beginning number, the coefficients, and you're going to write those numbers here. So it's going to be 2, 9, 10, 3. But then what you have to do with the divisor is that you have to set it equal to 0 and then solve it. So your x here is 1/2. And the way that this works is that you bring down the 2 initially, and then you multiply. 1/2 times 2 is going to give you a 1, and you add it. 9 plus 1 is a 10. Then you do 10 times 1/2 is going to give you a 5. Add it, you get a 15. And then from here, 1/2 times 15 is 7.5. And when you add it, you get a 10.5. And already I'm thinking, this does not look the same. And it doesn't. And I don't like it. I want to be honest. Yeah, it's not my preference of using this form. So let's go ahead and skip this one for today, and we will revisit this on another video. All right, so then with that said, we went over 4 different examples. And then from those 4 different examples, I want you guys to go ahead and now do some practice with your Math Excel. So you will have a homework assignment from Math Excel every single week. Some weeks you have 2, but because we started a little bit later this week, you will have only 1. So it is assigned every single Monday, and your Math Excel is always due on Sunday by 11 p.m. Your grades will be updated every single Wednesday. So then let me go ahead and share with you how you go about finding your Math Excel. You will need to have internet access, and I believe you might even be able to use it on your cell phone. So let me go ahead and get here. So we're going to go to just Washoe County School District, type in Math Excel. And from there, you're going to go to Envision Math. And of course, you will have to go ahead and log in, just like how I'm logging in. Although if you're at school, you've already logged in through the desktop, so that wouldn't be an issue. So then you're going to go to your class, and your class is Algebra 2. Don't click the Envision. Make sure you click on Math Excel right here. So once you click on that, you should be able to pull up your homework assignment, and it should just automatically load, okay? And so what you should see is that this is your course, and you're going to go to assignment. And the first one that you have is week 1 homework, Algebra 2, semester 2 on dividing polynomials. And if you take a look at this part right here, there are 14 questions. And this is going to be due on Sunday. So that is going to be on the 9th. By 11 p.m. Now, you are allowed to work and change a score after the due date. There will, however, be a late penalty for this. it's between 10% to 40%, depending on how late it is. You are limited to 3 times of working on each question. And I'm just gonna go ahead and hit assign. And so, ta-da, here is your first question. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste it back over here onto my PowerPoint. Okay. Now, in addition to that, you guys also have a quiz every single week. So your quiz will be given to you guys on Wednesday, and that's totally fine, but I'm gonna open it for you guys anyways, so that way you have access to it as well. So your Math Excel homework is going to be due by Sunday by 11 p.m. Next is your Math Excel assessment, which is kind of like a mini quiz, okay? This one is gonna be opened by Wednesday of each week, and it is due by Sunday, 11 p.m., just like your homework assignment. And of course, your grades will be updated by Wednesday of the following week. Okay, so make sure you guys have that. Now for this week, I'm just gonna go ahead and open it for you guys. Your quiz looks like this. This is Algebra 1, or Week 1, Algebra 2, Semester 2 quiz, 5.4, dividing polynomials. So I'm gonna go over here and select Edit. There are only 6 questions, so it's not a lot. So that's kind of a nice thing. And it is for you guys to be due by the 9th. And it is due by 11 p.m. And I'm going to give you guys 2 chances there. And of course, you're welcome to turn it in late. But however, if it is going to be late, there will be a penalty to this. All right, and so there is your quiz assessment. All right, you guys, well, there you have it. That basically concludes everything you need to know. So just as a quick summary, we went over 4 different questions on long division. We'll cover synthetic next week when I see you guys. And keep in mind that your Math Excel, this is your first assignment. It is due by Sunday by 11 p.m. In addition, you guys do have a quiz on dividing polynomials, and it's also due on Sunday by 11 p.m. So happy working. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. To kind of end the day today, my exit today is right here. List 3 occupations that does not involve math that also are high paying job. And also, do you think people that make YouTube living make a decent living or decent wage? So this is your exit ticket. So make sure you guys answer that on your guided notes somewhere on a blank space. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.